This is the Heidelberger Allstate Insurance Agency pregame show, and just a few hours before the big game against Cathedral, alongside here is Coach Eric Moore. And Coach, before we get to that game, I want to at least congratulate you on another great MIC campaign. You were able to get a MIC championship, go undefeated only for the second time in school history. It was also your 7th MIC championship, which ties Coach Dollahan for the most ever. Congratulations.
Well, thanks a lot. We really appreciate that. We appreciate all the support from the fans, and I appreciate everybody that's reminded us that we are MIC champions, and especially being the undefeated MIC champion. I think that's the second time we've done that. And we've had a lot of co-championships, but this is our championship, outright, undefeated, and we're very proud. Our team is very proud. And that doesn't happen all the time at any of the schools. So it was a great tribute to our relentless effort this season, and maybe the off season that most people didn't have. Our kids put themselves through, but we came out with the purpose to win these MIC games, and it's really been a blessing that we've got to play all of them. There's conferences tonight that won't get to finish their conference, and we did, and I'm just really happy for all the fans, the students at Center Grove, and especially the football team and the parents that we are the undefeated MIC champions.
I think it's also worth noting, because I'm not sure that this has happened at any of the mixed schools, is our JV and freshmen also were in the table on that too, which has got to be pretty exciting for you.
Yeah, it's always great to look at the future and see what's happened to them as well, and that goes to our coaches, our young teams, our JV coaches, and our varsity staff that coaches JV. Brad Timmons is the head coach, and Matt Patterson and Kevin Deedle help him out there with that on Saturdays. And they've been on the road six weeks, and they'll continue to be on the road tomorrow at Cathedral. So that's really, you take your hat off to the JV team. It's done it all on the road. The freshmen had our schedule, so they've had primary most of the games home. And B.A. Painter and his staff did a great job of staying focused and winning all those games. So we're just really proud to be totally undefeated as a program.
Turning our attention to tonight, a lot of people are saying this is the game. I know that bothers you maybe to a little bit of an extent because the game's happening right before the tournament. But that said, two teams, Cathedral and Center Grove, with incredible tradition, a lot of similarities, both undefeated, both ranked #1 in their respective classes, wanting to make a deep run in the playoffs, obviously, and ended at Lucas Oil. More importantly, they're both ranked nationally, the top 25. They both can run. They both can pass. It's got to be an exciting game for you. How have you prepared this week, being on fall break and going into a big game before the playoffs?
Well, we've got to mention again, we're just really fortunate to be able to play the game tonight. A lot of kids aren't getting to play their final game of the season, or maybe any game of the season. It is a great game. It's always a great game because two really good high schools and good communities that go after each other. There's nothing at stake but pride and bragging rights, which is okay. But both teams will continue to press on in the state tournament, and both teams are expected to do well in the state tournament. And in the back of my mind, you know me well enough. That's what I'm thinking about. It'd be great to win tonight for everything that you just said. But the number one thing is both Cathedral and Center Grove to get out of this game. Have a good game as you go into the playoffs. Stay healthy. That's probably the number one thing that I've probably not slept all week about, is playing such a good physical Cathedral team and then playing a good physical Center Grove team. And, we have to play again in 2 weeks for all the money, So our 7-week season sort of starts this week with this week as the Cathedral game. Next week, is the bye week. And then we start, hopefully, the drive for 5, trying to win 5 games in a row. Both of us and Cathedral have shown that we can win 8 games in a row, so 5 in a row can be done as well. This week has been a strange week. We've practiced in the morning and tried to get all of our work done. I don't know. I think our kids were okay. I think, as any coaches, we were expecting visions of grandeur, and they're still high school kids that had to get up and come to football practice. So can't keep it from that. But it's all about tonight and how we come out and get rolling and how bad we want to be here. And the game's all going to be about who's going to be the most physical.
I thought we would see this last week against Lawrence North, and it didn't seem to take place. Macaulay could run the football as a quarterback, and he didn't do it. I don't know if that's something we did or he's just become more patient. This week, I do think Nathan McCahill, who's rushing for darn near over 100 yards a game, will have not any hesitation in taking that ball, putting it underneath his arm and going. So do you prepare differently for that, or are you guys just doing more of your natural schemes?
It all falls into our scheme of what we do, and yeah, we expect McCahill to run the football, and that's fine. And we expected McCauley to run the football last week, and they chose not to as much. But part of that is our defense. It makes you're going to have contact, and if you want to put your quarterback out there for the whole game getting tackled by our great defenders, and that's more power to you. So you don't know how that'd come out with. I don't think that was Lawrence North's game plan not to run him. He is a passer first, and he's a great athlete. And Nathan's a great athlete as well, and he's a passer, but he can also run the football. But anybody can. Taven Jackson's a great athlete and can run the football. If you want to come out and run the quarterback 36 times, or you want to hand it to Carson Steele, I'd prefer the Warhorse. So we'll see how that goes.
It's pretty neat. Speaking about last week, once we were able to get in control of the game, that's exactly what you did, and it was fun to watch in the stands because you go Carson 4 or 5 times straight, and Daniel Williams can run the ball pretty doggone well too, and he ran with a lot of explosion last week, and they just finally wore him down, and that's certainly been something that you can do and always have been able to do this season. But most of the games we were pretty much on the sidelines that second half, so it was good to get a full game on our belt last week.
Yeah, it was. Defensively as well. The defense had to play in the second half, had to go out and make plays and make stops to get us the football. First half, we went up and down the field on offense. We just kept shooting ourselves in the foot, and we created all of our own problems. And all we had to do at halftime is convince ourselves that we don't need to create problems anymore and do what we do. And the defense, we just need you to get us a couple stops so we can get after them. And I think that 2-point conversion, that made it 14-13 really put the dotted the I with, okay, we're here to go now. And then again, but we didn't know how we would react as an offense, running the clock out with a good hard running game there. And I'm very proud of our offensive line and our running backs with Steele and Daniel Weems especially. It's thunder and lightning, man. We look for the right and here comes the left. So we're really glad that those kids are working so well together, and hopefully tonight will be another good situation for that.
Well, as you mentioned, it was hard to believe just a handful of weeks ago we weren't even sure if we were going to have a season, let alone a practice. And here we are in week 9. Been very blessed and fortunate to get all the games in. This should be tremendously exciting for those who are football fans across the state, heck, across the nation. So we wish you luck, and let's go finish this thing.
Yeah, if you got lucky enough to get a ticket for the Cedar Grove Cathedral game, come on out to Ray Skillman Stadium. We're glad to be back home for our last time that we know of this year. We'll have to win in the state tournament to get back, so we'll hope that comes. But if you got a ticket, if you're lucky enough, come on out, come early, stay late. Let's go Trojans, beat Cathedral.